Welcome to a recap of the NFL Week 9 for the 2022-2023 season sim. It was a very interesting week, so let's jump in and start with Thursday Night Football. The Falcons going to Baltimore, losing 30-16. The game was tied with 7 minutes to go, but then the Ravens scored, and then Mariota got stripped, and then it was scooped up and scored for a TD. Mariota also had 2 picks on the night. Very rough for the Falcons, and depending on next week, he could be benched for Desmond Ridder. Lamar Jackson, fewest yards in his career in a game with 152, but the Ravens still got the job done, and Jackson still had 2 TDs. On the Sunday slate, the Jets beat the Browns on the road 16-9 to improve to 3-6 as the Browns dropped to 4-4. Brissett 202 through the air, Chubb 79 on the ground, Cooper 57 through the air. Mike White had a pick, and Breece Hall had the only touchdown of the game, and it was for the Jets in the third quarter for them to get the lead and ultimately seal the victory. So good job for New York as they try to rebound in a tough AFC East. The Saints beat the Panthers 26-13 in New Orleans. A great job by them to get the win as they improved to 3-6. Andy Dalton looking pretty good, 2 TDs. PJ Walker still has yet to have a 200-yard game, and he had a pick in this game. Both offenses didn't look too well, but the Saints definitely look better under Andy Dalton. So it looks like they're going to be going with him going forward as the Saints look to try and get another win in Week 10 as the Dolphins blow out the Broncos 34-3, a massive win for the Dolphins. They improve to 6-3, as Tua went for 235, 3 TDs, as Tyreek Hill had a big game, so did Jalen Waddle. As for the Broncos, Russell Wilson had 2 interceptions. Just the offense couldn't really get going, only just 3 points, and it came on the opening drive for the Broncos, so nothing on their other ones. The Bengals, they go on the road in Pittsburgh and beat them 17-10. They improved to 6-3. Steelers fall to 3-6. As Cincinnati trying to prove that last season wasn't a fluke. Burrow had a pick. Kenny Pickett and the Steelers, they did a great job. They kept up in this game. It just wasn't enough in the long run to continue fighting. But they play Houston next week, so a good chance to get back on track for them. As Cincinnati, they will look to try and improve as they play Cleveland next week. The Vikings, they win 30-18, and they go to 8-1 on the season. The Bears fall to 1-8. Kirk Cousins, 3 TDs, had a pick in this game that really shouldn't have been when it was tipped up in the air. As Trevor Siemian had 2 interceptions. Darnell Mooney, 107 and a TD. Him and Siemian have had a good connection, but still just a 1-8 record for Chicago, who's favored to have the number 1 draft pick, along with the Texans, which we'll get to in a minute. The Buccaneers, they hold off a late run from Tennessee to win it 21-15. A good win for the Buccaneers. As Tom Brady looked pretty good, went for 208, 2 TDs. Tannehill had a pick in this game. As Mike Evans, 102. Leonard Fournette had a rushing touchdown. Derrick Henry not looking like Derrick Henry, which is pretty concerning for Tennessee. They fall to 4-1, but still lead the AFC South, as crazy as that sounds. How about this? A crazy upset. The Commanders beat the Cowboys 21-6. Dallas just did not show up. They did not play like themselves. Prescott had 2 picks. Taylor Heineke, he had a pick and a TD, but the defense is what really stood out. Jonathan Allen had a 14-yard scoop and score to really ice the game and put the Commanders up 21-6 in the fourth quarter. Brian Robinson had a decent game, and Dallas, man, not looking too strong. Hopefully they can go on a bye and rebound. Big upset number 2, the Cardinals win 14-13 and get their 3rd win in a row. As crazy as that sounds, Kyler Murray, again, not pretty, but either way, the defense got the job done. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, they stalled in the second half. They had nothing for this Cardinals team, as the Packers are 4-4 in a pretty concerning situation for them. As, of course, the Vikings running away with their division. Upset number 3, Seattle wins at home against the 49ers 23-14, but tragic news for San Francisco. Not on the graphic, but Jimmy Garoppolo went down with an Achilles, and he will be out for the season. Trey Lance came in the game for the 49ers, and it just wasn't enough. CMC, though, first touchdown as a 49er was on a rushing TD from 2 yards out. As for Seattle, Geno Smith didn't play great, but kind of the memo this week. As long as your defense plays well, you're going to get the victory. And in overtime, the Raiders beat the Chargers on the road. A big win for the 4 o'clock slate games as Vegas goes to 4-5. Chargers have lost 3 in a row. Very, very concerning at this point for LA. But nonetheless, Derek Carr threw 2 picks. Wasn't pretty. The Chargers turned it over twice. A fumble from Eckler and then a fumble from Herbert. So 2 picks compared to 2 fumbles. Raiders went on a game-winning field goal with 3 minutes to go in overtime. Sunday Night Football in Orchard Park. Buffalo wins 20-10 over the Patriots as New England, they are in a bad spot. Worst times with Bill Belichick. 3-6 for this team. Mac Jones threw 3 picks. Surprised Bailey Zappi didn't come in there, but there's a possibility we could see Zappi in week number 10. As Josh Allen threw a pick as well. Wasn't yet again not pretty for the Buffalo Bills, but you know what? A win's a win. They go to 7-2. This, however, was a great win for the Chiefs, 48-13. They beat the Texans, stomp on them on the road. And Houston, talk about first overall picks. They're definitely a contender for that one. As Mahomes threw for 3 TDs. Hardman had a career night, 2 pick sixes in the third quarter for Kansas City. That was a crazy stat line. Dameon Pierce, a great night rushing. Pacheco and Edwards-Helaire having big days. Everyone is having great days for the Chiefs, not for the Texans. 6 teams on a bye this week. Jacksonville, Philly, the Lions, Rams, Giants, and Colts all get the week off and prepare for week number 10 as we're officially over halfway through the season. Standings, you have the Chiefs and Ravens at 7-1 apiece, Buffalo at 7-2, Titans 4-1, Dolphins 6-3, Bengals 6-3 with the Browns in the final spot. Chargers, Raiders, Colts, Jags, Jets, Steelers, Patriots, Jets. All of those teams are still in the hunt, either a game, half a game, or a game and a half behind. It's not over for the AFC, as crazy as it is. For the NFC, however, things are different. Philly 8-0, Vikings at 8-1, Niners at 5-3. That's a glitch right there. Buccaneers at 5-3, Cowboys at 6-3, Giants at 5-3, Seattle's at 6-3. They're swapped. Rams 4-4, Packers there as well. Lions at 3-4-1. Really, from about 8th to about 13th down there to the Saints, pretty much the contenders in the NFC. This is ASC signing off.